Welcome back to the channel, guys. Thank you for enjoying the content. I'm going to show you something I've been doing for the past 5 years. 5 years. Where I've taken the car from a condition like this to a condition like this. Using zero soap at all on the body for the past 5 years. I've been literally giving this car a sponge bath. No BS, no clickbait. I haven't washed this car with soap in 5 years. Now stick around with me. Let's get our stuff together. Let me show you the process. And you'll see at the end of the video the finished work on how I keep this car spotless with no soap. Guys, so this is what we're going to use to clean the car today. But before we get into those things, let's just go over something really quick. Soap and using a detergent type medium. The purpose is those soaps, those FUDs, those suds are used to actually lift, suspend the dirt, and then you wash it away. But in some cases, as you're washing and wiping the car, that suspended dirt actually gets moved around the body of the car and it gets squished and swirls, and that's where you get lines and swirls and stuff. Because if it's really dirty, the suspended grime, little pebbles, the little sand or whatever is still in there unless you totally wash the car. That's why you see on popular videos, people use foam cannons and stuff like that to totally spray down the car, get the heavy grit off, and just wash the car after. Particles that while you're washing could re-scrape the car. What I'm going to discuss today is a rinseless wash. And a rinseless wash, this little guy right here, is a concentrate, a polymer concentrate. And what it does, it freaks out the general car wash person. The first time I used O&R, rinseless wash, it was a huge cringe moment when I took that sponge and I dragged it top to bottom and just thought I was scratching the ever-living daylights out of my clear coat. But where difference from soap is that soap just suspends the dirt. This polymer encapsulates the dirt. Totally encapsulates the grime and the dirt and debris that's on the car while you're wiping. Instead of like with the soapy water and soapy mitt, you're re-scratching the car. This is actually encapsulating the dirt, and actually when you move it around, it just sloshes around and just rolls right off the car. So you're literally sponge baiting the car. Like I said before, I was sponge baiting the car. I know some of you guys were thinking, what the flip is he saying? He's sponge baiting the car. This here is my washing sponge. This is the big red sponge. I'll put links to all these in the description, but this is my big red sponge, and this is what I use to literally sponge bathe the panels on the car. Yes, I say it again, I am literally going to take that sponge with no soap and I'm going to wipe these panels down. It works so well that I've demoted my soap mitt is now a high visibility marker. Best part about this process, you don't need a hose. You don't need a hose. And like today, which is high 40s, you don't even need to wash the car outside. I'm inside the garage. If the wind picks up and it gets too chilly, I could just shut the garage door and I'm inside sponge baiting my car, baby. Just sponge baiting my car. All right, guys, so we already have 30 mLs to 2 gallons of water. We're going to make another batch, so we have another 30 mLs of O&R. That's water cold. I think I should get some hot water from inside. Now we got 4 gallons mixed up. So with conventional methods using soap, how they spray down the car, get all the heavy stuff off and wash it off, we're gonna do a first step also, but instead of soap, we're using a garden sprayer in this case, and a mixture of O&R to pre-wet, pre-soak the car. Then we will follow through with our big red sponge and each panel and work panel by panel. So let's go ahead and let's get this sprayer filled up. You can use a spray bottle and stuff, but this, you can't beat this off Amazon. I think it was like 20 bucks. It holds enough mixture and you can spray the whole car real easy. And you can see, this is my designated container. Has O&R only, and I've taken it to many car shows and stuff to give the car, I mix it extra heavy, so like instead of 30 milliliters for 2 gallons, I'll do like 30 milliliters for a gallon. Make it extra strong and just give a quick wipe right before a car show. Let's go ahead, get some air in this thing. And let's pre-treat this car. Just get just a good mist in. Where it's heavy, spray it a little heavier. See down here, there's a lot of dirt. A lot of heavy dirt and stuff. You just spray it off a little heavier here, let it wash off. Now that we're on to the next stage, we've got it pre-treated. You'll see it's drying back up. And as some of you right now at this point, seeing the pre-treatment drying back up, you're like, oh my God, he's making so many water spots on his car right now. Part of the O&R is also a water softener. It softens the water because it encapsulates all that impurities. So when the pre-treatment dries, it doesn't dry the impurity on the car, leaving water spots. So that's another added benefit of using the O&R. You're not rushing to get it off. I got my big red sponge now. We've got to soak into the solution. And we're going to take the big red sponge, not totally wet, but just wet enough that when we wash, we're squeezing and we're just sloshing the mixture and the dirt off the car. So we're just washing and we're going like that, squeezing, and we're just swishing everything off. And after we get the panel off, what I've used in the past is this Opti-Seal. And the Opti-Seal is a drying agent, so it helps dry the car. It also is a sealant, it's a silk sealant. So it helps put a nice ceramic effect, if you would say. It's not a full ceramic coating, it's a silk coating, but it creates a nice hydroscopic layer that creates all this beading. See all this beading? All of this car's been through rain and what have you, it's kept all this beading. I am going to use the newer version called HyperSeal. I'll link both in the description. I'm trying this out for the first time. It's silk also, but in this video I will be using the HyperSeal instead of the Opti-Seal. But for 5 years now I've been using the Opti-Seal, and this is exclusively after we wash the panel with the big red sponge. I've sprayed Opti-Seal on it wet. The instruction says dry, but I sprayed wet and then I dried the panel with a microfiber. That's what it was called, a microfiber. Let's get started. Are you ready to cringe? For me, I've done it hundreds of times. I've got my neighbors into it. I got friends into it. And you know my friend Wes, he's the one that got me into it. But like I said, the first time ever doing this, you can see the dirt still in the car. The first time doing it, it's so cringe and it just freaks you out. You're going to scratch the hell out of clear coat, but you're not. You're not. Grab your sponge. Sponge bait in your car, guys. grab your sponge and just wipe from the top, come down. Literally sponge baiting your car from the top down. Get some more. Like I say, as you wipe, you squeeze. So you're washing it off. Top down. Top down. You're washing this off. Now, I normally start with the roof and the windshield, but just because of the video, I want to show you guys the side. To start off with. Literally just sponge baiting the car. Literally just sponge baiting the car, top down. Let's go and get this fender a little bit. Getting that water. Just rubbing it away. Just getting the side skirt, getting the splitter. Let's take a look at it. There's no real dirt in it anymore, but you can see the dirt still on this panel. Get the line right there. Let's go ahead and just dry the panel. What you do, you get your microfiber towel, your drying agent, your silk, just spray it on there. And you see it kind of, it's a drying agent, so it actually kind of lifts the water, and you see the water running off. And you just wipe the car down. Look at that shine. Look at that ridiculous shine. Look how ridiculous that is. You're literally giving your car a sponge bath. The line there. And you can see the dirt line here. See the shine in the window? That is the power of the O&R no rinse. There's no hose, there's no bucket. Look, the sun's coming in. Look at the bottom, how the bottom's shining. Look at that shine. So how crazy is that? There's no scratches. Look at that. There's absolutely no scratches. There's no swirls. There's no lines. And I've washed this car for the past 5 years using this method. You've seen my photos on Instagram. You've seen my videos. Some of you have seen my car in person. You've seen how clean this paint is. And I'm doing it by this. Zero soap. Absolutely zero soap has touched this car in the past 5 years. How amazing is that? Let's go do a few more panels. Let me let you watch the process a little bit. I'm going to do the top. On the windshield, I spray the silk, the drying agent, and the sealant a little extra on the windshield because I kid you not, the car is a 2011, so it's what, 11 years old now? These are the factory wiper blades. Factory ass wiper blades. I'm not bullshitting you. When these wiper blades will start going out, was around the same time I started using this process. And right before I was going to buy blades, because of the hydrophobicness and the sealant of the finishing of the ONR and the finisher, the OptiSeal, is what I used back then. In rain, it just beats the water up and it just slushes right off. Slushes right off. These are 11-year-old wiper blades because of that. I have found zero need to do it. After a while, if the car is in the rain a lot and use the wiper blades a lot, it breaks down because it's not as tough as a ceramic coating, so it breaks down. So you'll see it'll start streaking and stuff. That just reminds me that I need to wash the car. Enough rambling. Let's go ahead and continue on the body. Same process. So now I'll go ahead and do my normal start, which is the top of the car. Get a little bit on there. As you wipe, press down and slush all that dirt away. Simple as that. Just press down and slush the dirt away. Heavier vehicles, like heavier dirt vehicles, like the wife car, it doesn't get washed and it gets driven in the rain a lot. Those, I use a lot of water and I swish a lot of water off because it's really heavy dirt. But on my car that I don't drive in the rain a lot, I don't have to use that much water to clean it. The thing is, I actually force myself to drive the car in the dirt and the rain just so it'll build up funk for this video. It always takes the wife's car or something out when it's bad out. And this garage queen stays nice and dry. See what I'm doing? Just quick and easy. I took my time on the first panel to show you guys, but I'm just quick and easy, just going through the motion, sponge baiting the car and slushing all this dirt off. But if some of you were following, you will remember that I said do one panel at a time, and you guys are like, holy crap, Kevan, you did like 3-4 panels. I'm like, at first start with your one panel, but as you get more proficient in it, you could do this and spread it out a little bit. Some drying agents, you'll see a little rainbow effect. That's just part of it. Just buff it out. It doesn't take it takes zero effort to buff that out. And that's how fast you can knock out a couple panels. And look how super clean the car is. There's no swirls. There's no lines. There's scratches. It's 11-year-old paint. Okay, you just can't avoid it. It's a daily, so there's scratches. But there's no washing induced scratches. Look at the side coming down. Look at that gloss. Let me go ahead and continue on with the rest of the car, and then I'll get back with the wheels. I want to do an in-between quick update. Just did the top and around. Bottom's still dirty. But look at the color of the water so far. How dark and dirty it's gotten. It was a very light blue color, and all the grit and grime is in there now. That's why I also still use a separator. Yeah, guys, just look at it. Look at that shine, man. Oh my goodness. Just so with the mixer, right? Brake cleaner. I don't mix it strong at all. With the IK Foam Pro, I probably fill it up to probably, like, see here, that ounce mark, just above that ounce mark. And then I just fill up the rest of the mixer with water. What I do also when I'm done, I actually rinse it out well, wash it out properly, and take it apart, let it dry. I don't leave the soap in there. Probably not going to use anywhere close to how much is in there. But we're going to foam it up, and you want to foam the wheel dry. With it wet, the water actually creates like a layer in between the cleaner and the rim. So you want it dry so the cleaner actually touches. That's a hair trigger right there, boys. So the cleaner actually touches the dirt and releases the dirt. Let me go wipe that few spots off. That's why these foamers also have a safety, which I did not use. All right, so we're gonna get this on there. Then let's rinse it off. So now I've chemically removed the grit. Now I'm going to use the O&R, spray it on there, get the rag, and do what I did with the car. I kind of reversed the rolls on the towels a little bit. The towel I used to use to dry is now the towel I used to wipe down and clean. And then I buff with this long, I guess fiber, long finger towel. I can't remember what it's called. So I could get in between the bolts and stuff. Just wipe down and clean everything. Remember, don't let your towel touch the ground. If your towel touch the ground, you're picking up dirt. Picking up dirt, you're scratching stuff. Don't let your stuff touch the ground. I did forget to put my silk hyper seal on there, so I wet the tire once again with the O&R, sprayed some of the silk finisher, wiped it on, polished it. And then I take this towel and I buff it dry. Look at the shine it brings out on the lip. And I kind of fold the edge and I get into the bolts. You can hear that scrubbing in between the bolts. Make sure it's not dragging and touching the ground. Get to the face, buff the face. And then we've super cleaned the heck out of that wheel. The final thing is when the car is dry, you go ahead, the tire is dry, you go ahead and you put your tire spray, tire gloss of choice. Right now I'm using, same with the Optimum brand of stuff, I'm using the Optimum tire gel. Works great. Had it for a number of years also. Separates, so you gotta kind of shake it up. It's like a goo. It's like skeet actually. So there's a little skeet, put it on your sponge, and you kind of rub it all over your tire. Look, the sun's coming out, get some shine on. So now I just gotta do the other 3 tires just like this process. And pretty much done. We've super cleaned the heck out of our car. Body with no soap. Tires, just because we want to be a little extra cautious. It wasn't necessary, but just because of these polished boys, I don't want to have 0 lines and no scratches. Unfortunately, because the lips stick out, I guess I did hit some debris and a pebble rock the lip right there. So I do have some gouges there, unfortunately. So just take that in, guys. I still have the car high because I still need to do the tire dressing. Car right now, tires are drying, so I'll lower it down later. Finished product. So what do you think about that? Did I blow your mind? Did you think it was possible not to use soap and get it real clean and not scratch the ever-living daylight out of your clear coat? Once again, in the description, I'll have some affiliate links with what we used today, what I showed you guys, and please feel free to use that. It doesn't cost you anything, helps the channel out a lot. Put in the comments what you think. Let me know if you're going to try it or you think it's voodoo. And on that note, I'm going to leave you with a montage.